Prime Video is hiding some of the darkest, strangest, and most underrated sci-fi movies ever made. Not the usual titles you see recycled in every list. Not the same 5 films everyone pretends they just discovered. These are the ones the algorithm buried. The ones that creep under your skin, twist your perception, and linger in your thoughts long after the screen goes black. We're talking time travel enforcers, evolving machines, apocalyptic infections, deep space madness, and one film so tense it makes silence feel threatening. Most people scroll right past these movies. You won't. Stick around until number 1, because almost nobody talks about it, and they really should. Let's dive in. At number 10, Time Cop. Before time travel became all flashing portals and glowing wristbands, Time Cop imagined it as something far more dangerous, a tool for power. In this world, time travel isn't theoretical, it's regulated. And when criminals use it to rewrite history for personal gain, a specialized task force is sent back to stop them. Jean-Claude Van Damme plays one of these time cops, enforcing strict rules that keep the timeline intact. But when a corrupt politician begins manipulating time to guarantee his rise to power, the mission becomes deeply personal. What makes Time Cop stand out isn't just the action, it's the emotional spine. This isn't only about fixing the past, it's about trying to undo the moment that shattered a life. The movie sticks to its time travel rules, avoids cheap paradox tricks, and balances sci-fi concepts with raw human motivation. It's classic 90s filmmaking, practical effects, real stunts, and an era where sci-fi still felt grounded and physical. If you miss when genre films were bold, sincere, and unapologetically intense, Time Cop is a blast worth rediscovering. Number 9. Automata. If you like slow, atmospheric sci-fi that quietly gets under your skin, Automata is a criminally overlooked gem. The world is dying. Humanity survives inside fortified cities, while humanoid robots keep civilization functioning under 2 unbreakable rules. They cannot harm living beings, and they cannot modify themselves. Or so we're told. When an insurance investigator is assigned to look into a robot that may have violated its programming, he uncovers something far more unsettling: machines that may be evolving on their own. This isn't loud sci-fi, it's cold, bleak, thoughtful. The tension doesn't come from explosions, it comes from watching humans realize they may no longer be the most advanced intelligence on the planet. Automata asks uncomfortable questions about control, evolution, and whether humanity truly deserves to survive more than its creations. If Blade Runner made you pause and stare at the wall afterward, this one deserves a spot on your list. Before we continue, quick question. How many of these movies have you actually seen? If even one of these is new to you, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because you're exactly who this channel is for. Alright, let's keep going. At number 8, Cold Skin. Isolation can make monsters out of anyone. Cold Skin takes place on a desolate island at the edge of the world. A man arrives to work as a weather observer, expecting solitude. Instead, he finds something far worse. Each night, amphibious creatures rise from the sea, attacking the outpost in relentless waves. The only other human there, a hardened lighthouse keeper, clearly knows more than he's saying. At first, this feels like a survival horror movie, but slowly, uncomfortably, it becomes something else. The creatures aren't just monsters, and the humans aren't entirely innocent. Cold Skin evolves into a disturbing meditation on fear, obsession, colonialism, and what happens when you decide an entire species is the enemy. The creature design is unnerving, the atmosphere is thick with dread, and the moral implications linger long after the final scene. This one is perfect for late-night viewing, when the silence around you starts to feel just a little too loud. At number 7, The Girl with All the Gifts. A zombie movie that actually has something to say. A fungal infection has wiped out most
world is falling apart. You can save people, Melanie.
Of humanity, turning people into fast, savage creatures. But some infected children are different. They can think, they can learn, they can feel. Melanie is one of them.
She's kind, intelligent, and deeply curious about the world, with one terrifying flaw: she's still hungry for humans. As civilization collapses and the group is forced to travel through a ruined Britain, the movie raises an unsettling question. What does saving humanity even mean anymore? This film trades mindless violence for philosophy, empathy, and a brutally logical conclusion that feels both heartbreaking and inevitable. It's emotional sci-fi with real consequences and an ending that dares to commit. If you love stories that challenge your idea of good and evil, this one will stay with you. Number 6. Turbo Kid. This is where things get wild. Turbo Kid feels like a lost VHS tape from another timeline. Picture a post-apocalyptic future. BMX bikes instead of muscle cars, neon blood, 80s synth music, homemade weapons, and absolute chaos. A lonely kid discovers a powerful artifact and becomes an accidental hero, taking on a ruthless warlord with the help of his overly cheerful sidekick, Apple. Yes, it's ridiculous. Yes, it's extremely violent. And somehow, it's also genuinely heartfelt. Beneath the insane gore and retro madness is a surprisingly sweet coming-of-age story about friendship, courage, and hope in a broken world. Turbo Kid doesn't try to be realistic. It fully commits to its identity, and that's exactly why it works. This is the fun break before the list turns darker. Enjoy it. Number 5. The Host. Few monster movies introduce their creature as perfectly as The Host. Toxic chemicals are dumped into a South Korean river. Years later, something emerges. The attack scene is pure chaos, fast, messy, and terrifying. In the confusion, a young girl is taken by the creature. Instead of waiting for government help, their dysfunctional family makes a decision. They're getting her back themselves. What makes The Host special is its balance. It's hilarious one moment, heartbreaking the next, and suddenly horrifying. Beneath the monster movie surface lies sharp commentary on government failure, class divide, and ordinary people pushed past their limits. If you loved Train to Busan or Parasite, this is essential watching. At number 4, Dark Skies. Aliens don't need massive invasions to be terrifying.
Sooner or later, when they're ready, they will take your family.
Dark Skies focuses on one family as their quiet suburban life begins to unravel. Strange events escalate slowly, electronics malfunction, objects move, and something unseen is watching. What makes this movie effective is restraint. The fear builds gradually, the tension feels intimate, and the movie understands that what you don't see is far scarier than what you do. By the time the truth is revealed, it hits hard, not because it's loud, but because it feels inevitable. The ending doesn't give you comfort, it leaves you unsettled. If you prefer creeping dread over cheap jump scares, Dark Skies deserves your attention. Number 3. The Witch, Subversion. This movie starts quiet. A young girl escapes from a secret facility and grows up believing she's normal. Years later, she appears on a televised talent show, and that's when people from her past recognize her. Strangers begin appearing. Some are friendly, others aren't. The first half simmers with mystery and unease. Then, the movie completely detonates. The final act unleashes brutal, stylish, super-powered chaos, telekinesis, bone-crushing fights, and a protagonist who is always several steps ahead. Think Stranger Things if 11 never held back. The slow burn makes the payoff devastating, and by the end, you'll immediately want the sequel. Number 2. Pandorum. Claustrophobic, brutal, relentless. Two crew members wake up aboard a massive ship with no memory of who they are or why they're there. The ship is decaying, most of the crew is gone, and something is moving in the dark. As they explore deeper, they uncover two horrors. They're being hunted, and a psychological condition called Pandorum causes extreme paranoia, hallucinations, and loss of identity. This feels like Alien colliding with Dead Space. It begins as survival horror, then slowly reveals a far more disturbing truth about humanity and collapse. This one sticks with you. Number 1. 10 Cloverfield Lane. This is the best movie on this list, no debate. After a car accident, Michelin wakes up in an underground bunker. A man named Howard claims the outside world has been destroyed. He might be telling the truth, he might be lying, or he might be the most dangerous thing she's ever encountered.
Is that how you thank me for saving your life?
Most of the movie takes place in one location, but every conversation feels like psychological warfare. John Goodman is terrifying and strangely sympathetic. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is smart, cautious, and constantly testing reality. And just when you think you understand the situation, the movie flips everything. This is pure tension, executed flawlessly. If you watch only one movie from this list, make it this one. These are the sci-fi movies Prime Video doesn't push, but absolutely should. If you enjoyed this list, like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which one you're watching tonight. And if you know a hidden sci-fi gem that deserves attention, drop it below, because the best sci-fi